sparked a revolution.
Yes, dear.
Boy, oh boy, oh.
You froze.
I did not freeze.
You did too,
I
right
did not
there.
freeze. I didn't freeze.
Like this.
You froze. It wasn't me.
Was it?
Freeze face.
We should just do that occasionally. Freeze frame.
Welcome to the 18 Wheel Talk Podcast Show.
Freeze frame.
Red light, green light, freeze. Okay, freeze.
Anyway, are we live?
Yes, we are.
Of course we are.
I hit the button. Don't you see the red light?
No, it's not in front of me.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to get a red light that I can flip on, so that way we know. That way you know we're recording.
Okay, so welcome to the 18 Wheel Talk Podcast Show. Often imitated.
Never duplicated.
The blue, the green, the big rig. That's us.
That's us. Yep.
Yes.
18 wheels of
Fun.
fun
And
excitement.
Gee, show me a beer.
Freeze frame.
Yeah, in case
Hi,
you didn't
Janet.
figure it out, we've been playing freeze frame.
Hi, Janet.
Hi, Patrick. What's up?
What's up with you?
Oh, not much, Buttercup.
Buttercup. Ooh,
I
a
know.
Buttercup.
That's the pug. I know.
Anyway, anywho,
Anywho.
what we talking about today, Derek?
We are talking about 18 Wheels of Perfection.
Yeah. What's your choice, driver?
Well, I know what my choice is, but I'll let you start. What's your choice?
What's my choice?
Yeah, what's your choice?
Well, hello, 379. Peter Carr.
Ooh, getting fancy there, calling it a Peter car.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my go-to. The one in the logo right there.
The Boilermaker,
Uh-huh.
the Peter car,
Yup.
the Peterbilt.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm extremely fond of them, but they have to have a cat engine
Okay.
and an Eaton Fuller transmission.
Okay.
Okay, I'm really picky about stuff like that. If the drivetrain's not there, you know.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But when I'm looking out over that hood, it's not like a Volkswagen where you can just slap that Rolls Royce hood ornament on it.
No.
I want the hood ornament to match
I'm
the
gonna
track.
put a Rolls Royce hood ornament on our Peterbilt.
Oh, there you go.
Why not, right?
Why not? Everybody else does that.
And it's gonna have the stick shift that goes right up to the steering. That's gonna have like brass knuckles.
Well, honey, with as low as you put your seat, everything's all the way up to the ceiling.
So what are you saying?
You're a low rider.
Low and slow.
Well, I'm definitely not a slow driver, but if you want to drive slow, you go for it, baby. My seat has air in
Low
it.
rider. He's a low rider. Sorry.
You need the music. If you're going to do that, you got to have the backup music.
I'll have to try to see if I can find it and put it in the audio.
Oh, okay. I got
Okay.
itchy back. Anyway.
Anywho, back to the show.
Back to the show.
All right, so we're talking about 18 Wheels of Perfection.
I started to say,
Yep.
You might keep that seat all the way down where you're like riding on the bolts.
Mm-hmm.
I like a little cush.
Don't
I
ride-
like the air ride to be an air ride.
I don't ride on the bolts.
You do too.
Well, yeah, I guess I do.
Yeah, you ride on the
I'm like-
bolts you're riding on the rails.
I at least have it rocking. I can rock it.
It goes crunch, 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 crunch.
It does
crunch,
not.
crunch, crunch, crunch.
It might squeak. It doesn't go crunch, crunch, crunch. It might squeak a little.
So anyway, we're talking about.
You're frozen again. What the hell?
I'm not frozen. See, I can move.
Oh,
I mean, I'm always cold, but I'm not
you
frozen.
You did freeze face with your tongue out.
Well, at least it's a good face. Anywho, so what we're talking about is what's your choice, driver? What do you like to drive? What do you like to sit behind the wheel and look out over that hood at? I know what my daddy liked.
Yeah, what's your dad like?
Trucks.
Ha ha ha. Ba ba ba.
Well, my dad really liked internationals. You
Okay.
know, international harvesters, what they used to be called.
Right.
But then they were just internationals.
International.
You
Well, they
know?
were called the harvesters. That was the cab-overs, weren't they?
Well, I think they were still called harvesters after cab overs.
Okay.
But then they got too pricey.
Uh-huh.
And so he said, fine, I'll just take a Freightliner. And
You made a mistake and called it a freight shaker on them, didn't you?
good Lord, Daddy up in heaven, forgive me because I did. I called it a freight shaker to his face one time. And that was the last time I ever referred to a Freightliner as a freight shaker.
Yep. Well, I mean,
Because he gave me the what for.
Yeah. The what?
That used to be their
The what
reputation.
For? The what for?
You know what I'm talking about.
No.
I have heard your daddy give you the what for, so don't even tell me you don't know what I'm talking about.
Explain it to our listeners. Story time. Ding.
That's when you put your foot in your mouth where you shouldn't have put your foot in your mouth, and you act like you know what you're talking about when you really don't know what you're talking about. And so your dad or your mother just comes up and smacks you upside the head and told you, "Shut up, you dumbass."
What?
And my parents never called me dumb. They didn't believe it, and I don't either. But
they didn't call anybody dumb.
Yeah, but
especially anybody named Janet.
They never called anybody dumb, and I don't either. But it boiled down to that.
Yeah, I got you.
They Gib slapped you, but my parents never cussed either. They never swore, except
I bet
once.
Your daddy swore.
No, he didn't. My mama swore once. She was really mad at my dad, and she's like She was
gosh darn it.
No, and she was like 5'3", and he was like 6'1" or 2, and she put her hands on her hips and she looked up at him and she says, "Damn it, Jimmy, I'm really mad at you." And I went, "Mom cussed."
No.
And it was, "Go to your room, young lady." I was around that hall faster than you could ever. Okay, end of story.
Come on, Janet, round the outside,
Round the outside. Janet went running around the outside, ran as fast as she could.
Anyways.
But anyway, he preferred an International Harvester, an International. I remember his black one that he had.
Okay.
And but then he switched to Freightliner because they just started wanting too much money for Internationals, and he thought they were a little big for their britches, so he switched to Freightliner, and he was really happy with them.
I got you.
And he had some beautiful trucks. My dad knew how to take care of a truck, you know. Yeah. He always took really good mechanical care of them.
Now, his last truck was what?
Freightliner.
Was it Freightliner?
Yeah.
Was it a classic or just
classic?
Freightliner, long nose?
Long nose, classic, and he had all that wood trim that his Amish neighbors put in for him on the inside, and all that leather, and oh my goodness, and that lavender paint job with the dark purple fenders and everything.
Yeah,
that's a pretty truck.
All right, let's get back to. Anyway,
so. Basically, if it's a new-to-you truck or a brand spanking new off-the-line truck, what we're asking is the big question is, what is your choice, your brand, your make, your hood ornament to see at the end of that rig, your go-to truck company, you know, when you're going to go buy one, new to you.
Are you Peterbilt? Are you Freightliner, Kenworth, Volvo, Western Star, International? What are you? Who's your go-to? Yeah, you like the Bulldog?
Hey, I like a Bulldog if I'm hauling a heavy load.
Yeah, I mean,
if I'm doing a triaxle, you know, or a heavy 6-oil or something, I want the Mack.
I drove a Mack garbage truck.
Oh, you want
because those suckers get abused.
Yeah. Oh, and you want something that shifts really like just hot butter, man. You want a Western Star.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Western Star, man.
I don't know what Western Star's got, but man, they shift lickety split, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, I've never driven a Daimler car. Mercedes-Benz.
A Volvo?
No, Daimler's Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, Daimler.
It's Daimler. But anyways, the German.
Anyways.
Anywho. Americans don't pronounce it right.
Anyways.
I've never driven a Mercedes-Benz semi.
Okay.
They make them.
Right.
They're really common in Europe, obviously, but not so much here.
Yeah, they're more like a cab-over-ish.
Yeah.
And I've never been in what are those Scavias?
Yeah, I haven't either.
You know, those are cool looking.
There's a Scania with an N. I know that.
Or maybe that's what it is.
I've driven a Mack, a Peterbilt, an International, a Western Star. What else? A Volvo, a Ford.
I mainly drove Freightliner.
Kenworth.
Because the company I was in had a Freightliner.
Yeah.
International. I drove Internationals for 20 years.
Yeah.
Because they're a big lease company. They lease a lot. International does a lot of
Now, I've never driven a pack car either. PACCAR.
Yep.
I think those mainly haul cars. No pun intended.
I had the privilege of driving a Western Star for like 5 minutes.
That was 5 minutes of heaven. If you were shifting, that's what it was.
That's what I mean.
I wonder.
One of the guys, my old company,
Mm-hmm.
they had 2 day cab Western Stars that they got from when they purchased a Canadian company.
Mm-hmm.
They came out. I think they came out of Toronto.
Okay.
But they had these 2 Western day cabs. They were white with a red interior. They're
nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And one of the old timers would come down to pick up our trailers from Western New York. And while he was signing, at the time they used to have to sign every manifest that was on that trailer.
Yep.
So while he was signing it, he says, "You might as well go do what you got to do with it. I'm hooked. If you need it at the door, go ahead and put it at the door."
Yeah.
So I'm like, seriously? He goes, "Yeah, just don't adjust my seat." I go, "Really?" I might have to lower the seat a little. So he goes, "All right, well, don't fuck with my mirrors then." I go, "Really?" But no, he was a good guy. He was just busting my chops.
Probably.
And I sat in the seat, and I'm like going, "Oh, wow, this is pretty." I let the air down just a little. So all you heard was a shh. That was it. Just enough to get a little bounce in it because I weigh, at the time I was
You
probably
were a pixie stick.
Yeah, I was probably like 170, 180.
You didn't weigh that much. I swear to God.
I weighed that little.
I swear to God, forgive me, that you weighed like maybe $120 when we got together.
No.
That's how it looked.
I was 185.
When you were Skeletor?
Yeah.
No way.
No body fat, all muscle, baby.
You looked like Skeletor. I was a pixie stick.
I was built for speed. Now I'm built for comfort. But anyways, I got in there, and it was like you push the clutch in, put it right in gear. It was like it just like fell in it. I was like, oh, this is nice. And they had 2 of them. And I put a big word into the big boss because one of them was on their way out. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, don't get rid of it. Call me because I don't care.
Is that the one you wanted to buy?
I told him, I said, I will take a loan out and buy the damn thing.
Yeah.
So that never happened, obviously. Otherwise, I would have had a day cab Western Star I'd be driving. But because they had 2 of them, I was going to take 2 and make one good one.
I remember that. I remember that.
Because I had a mechanic that was going to help me do what I had to do. Anyways, so yeah, I driven on Max when I drove for a garbage truck company. I drove Peterbilt very, very, I think I had a Peterbilt for a day. I drove a Kenworth for a little bit, like real little, like I had a Kenworth for a day, had a Peterbilt for a day, and then here, have a Freightliner. I'm like, really? Are you serious?
When you were over the road, what'd you drive?
Freightliner.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I had a Freightliner. They gave me a flat top.
Mm-hmm.
Then they put me in a mid roof.
Okay.
And then they said, no, we're gonna give you a condo cab. And I'm like, I don't want a condo cab. It's just me. What do I know? Either give me a mid roof or a flat top. It's just me.
You didn't have a room for a 6-pound Rottweiler? Or have one with you, I mean?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want one either. But anyways. Anyways, I never drove a Volvo, but I knew a lot of people that did.
Yeah.
And they thought they were when Volvo got big in the late 90s, early 2000s, when they everybody that I talked to said if you're ever in a head-on collision, the motor braces would break out, so that the motor would go down instead of into your lap.
Well, that's good.
That was a big safety. That was their big safety thing.
Okay.
So if you're ever in a head-on collision, you didn't eat the motor would fall to the ground.
I don't like eating motors, so that's good. Yeah.
Well, I mean.
Yeah, I know. I get you.
So before, you used to sit on top of the motor because, back in the day of the cab overs, you were first to the accident. You made it there before the engine did.
Whee! Up and over.
So, but that was my extent. I had, like I said, I drove a Peterbilt 379 for a day. Loved it. I wish they would have let me keep it, but they said, no, that belongs to the the old timer. I'm like, well, tell the old timer to retire. He's losing his truck.
I drove.
Tell him I'll arm wrestle him for it.
I've driven my dad's old Ford. This is eons ago. I've driven a cab over.
Okay.
International. I've driven a straight line or straight nose International. I've driven a straight line Freightliner. Peterbilt I was in for about 3 years.
Okay.
Mack truck hauling oil.
Oh, I forgot that the company I worked for, they gave me a cab over with a sleeper to move trailers with.
Isn't that fun?
I'm like, really? Oh yeah, we got a great truck for you. I had to go down to the city, New York City, to pick it up. And they're like, yeah, it's over there. And I'm like, which one? The cab over. I went, really? I said, you're giving me a truck with a sleeper to back truck trailers into a dock? What are you guys smoking? I mean, puff pass. Give me some.
Yeah, right.
No keys.
I did not like driving Volvos. I will tell you that. They didn't give you keys for the truck?
No, didn't need one.
Was it a push? Did it have the?
Yeah, it had where the key would go. You turned it. All you had to do was turn it, and then push the button and start it.
What year was this?
I
the
don't
truck. I mean,
I don't remember.
Not you.
I want to say it was like really old, but I don't think it was really old. I think it was probably like a 95 cab over.
Wow, and they still had it as a push button.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't argue.
That's
What was funny was I was moving trailers faster than the trailer jockeys in the industrial park were moving trailers.
That's not a shock. I've seen that industrial park.
It's like 2 poles on the side to climb up in, and they were like my fire engine poles.
Yeah.
I didn't even crank the dolly legs. I backed under it and lifted it up about 4 inches off the ground, and just enough to move it.
That's just bad.
Because it didn't have an airbag. It didn't have air suspension in it, so I had to drop them at least 2 inches off the ground in order for the guy that actually had airbags to actually hook up to the trailers. Otherwise they'd back under it, and if I cranked the dolly legs all the way to the ground, they'd never be able to pin it. It'd be too high.
Aw.
Poor babies. Crank the dolly legs. Crank it.
You didn't tell me it was story time.
I'm sorry.
Ding, story time.
Story's over. Ding.
Oh, ding, it's over? Okay. So, back to what we're talking about. We're not talking about your trailer that you're pulling, because there's all sorts of trailers, too. Yeah. We all have our favorites. And we're not talking about what you like to haul, because that's a whole different story.
That's a whole podcast on its own.
We're not talking about who you're going to drive for or who you have a contract with if you're an owner-operator. We're just plain simple asking is about that rig, the 13 gears, or nowadays it's the automatic.
13, 18 speeds.
Sleeper behind you, 500 horse under the hood, 1,800 pounds of torque, that big cat engine or whatever you like. But for me, it's that big cat engine. Yep. But again, that's another podcast.
Exactly. But anyways, let us know.
What do you like?
And hey, do us a favor. If you're watching the video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the show.
Subscribe to the fan club.
Yeah. Well,
join the fan club.
Yeah, join our fan club. Go to 18wheeltalk.com, and right there on the
page,
right on the homepage,
there's a join the fan club.
Big word. It says join the 18 Wheel Talk fan club. Click the button. You
won't regret it.
Click the button. Sign up. It's the only way you're going to get involved with our giveaways or any contests that we might have. But don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell on the video, because it does help us out on YouTube.
Patrick.
Yes, Janet.
What's a k-wop?
What's a k-wop?
Mm-hmm.
That's Kenworth.
Okay. What's a Louisville?
A Louisville I believe, if my memory serves me right, is the old Ford,
How'd it get its name?
because the L in the Ford stands for where it was built.
Ooh, very good, very good. And we both
Come on,
know.
you know, I grew up looking at trucks, and
And you can read.
That one, I like that one. I like that one.
And you know, a boiler car, Peter car, Pete car,
Yep.
Big Star car, Big W,
Yep. That's Western Star.
Swede machine.
That would be a Volvo.
You've driven one of those, right?
No, I told you I didn't.
Okay,
I knew a lot of people that did.
Did they like the way they shifted?
Mixed reviews.
Yeah, I
some
didn't.
some did, some didn't.
Not me.
You know, I know when they first came back, and and they were really starting to trend.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of shifter problems.
Yeah.
But some of the guys that I knew that got lucky. You know, they're like, I haven't had a problem with it.
Yeah.
So.
And then you know what a Jimmy is, of course.
Well, yeah, that's a GMC.
Yep. You don't see a lot of them out there anymore either.
No, but I used to own a GMC Jimmy.
Yeah.
Not a truck, but
not a semi, but a truck.
But what do they call it? SUV, sports utility vehicle.
Sports utility vehicle.
I had the small version,
It's a bitty version,
the wee one.
like this big.
Yeah, the auto version.
So, no matter what your handle is or where you hang your hat, whether it's the Windy City, the Cactus Patch, Beantown, Hotlanta, Rock City, or Cowtown, every driver has a preference on what they want to drive, unless they're new. And then they call someone and say, well, what do you think I should drive?
Well, you know what? You talk to the old timers.
Yeah.
And you talk to more than one.
Because
the
everyone
old-
has their opinion.
Everybody has an opinion on what they like, what they like to drive. But I want you drivers out there, if you're listening to us, I want you to go to 18wheeltalk.com, click on Ask the Show tab at the very top of the page. If you're doing it on your cell phone, hit the 3 bars. It'll say Ask the Show. Click on there. Let us know. You know, send us a message. Let us know what your preference is.
And maybe I can come up with some more names of some of the towns I've been through.
Inquiry month. Well, Jen's been everywhere. You know, that's
they wrote a song about me.
Johnny Cash wrote a song about you.
Before I even knew it.
I'm going to have to, play that as we fade out on the audio. That'll be our outro.
Yeah, right. Well, it's true. I have. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
Yeah, but Johnny Cash's family might get on me if I use it. Just saying.
Well, I met Roseanne once, but I never thought to ask her if I could use it.
It's okay.
Anyway, my dad knew him, but that's a whole nother story. My dad knew everybody. What am I saying?
Your dad knew everybody.
Mel Tillis, Johnny Cash, you name it. He knew them all. So,
but anyway,
that's another story. Ding, story time's over.
We would like you to let us know. Like I said, there's an Ask the Show tab. You can ask us anything. We might not answer you, but ask us anyway.
Yes.
If there was like a bunch of things I was going to say, and it's just like old age.
Well, see, a lot of these new drivers are going to get their opinions from trucking schools.
Yes, this is
Hopefully
true.
they go to a school that has several different types of trucks and not just all one.
Yeah.
You know,
learn. If you're new and you're going to go to driving school, learn on a manual. Learn how to drive a manual, please.
Yes, please.
Please learn how to drive a manual. Everybody knows how to drive an automatic. It's a push button.
You're going to learn how to drive an automatic. Sometimes it's a little stick, like
everybody. If you could drive a car,
like a column shifter,
you know how to drive. Learn how to drive a manual truck, please.
Yes, please.
Please.
We would greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Would be greatly appreciated. But anyways, please let us know. Ask the show. 18wheeltalk.com. Ask the show. Let us know what your preference is.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I
wonder what brand, what shifter, how many speeds, what motor you like.
Yeah, not everybody can be as prejudiced as me against all the other engines.
Well, the Freightliners that I had all had Detroit motors in them.
Yeah, Detroits are good. Don't get me wrong,
but because they were all leased trucks, they put in the beat up motor.
Yeah, I get you.
So we were governed anyways. The only way is if we got good fuel mileage. Okay, we could go above 65 miles an hour.
Oh, you poor thing.
But we had to use cruise control to do it.
Screw control?
Yeah. So, you remember when Ohio was... Oh, story time. Ding.
Okay.
Remember when Ohio had the double standard speed limit, 55 for truck, 65 for car?
Yeah.
Well, I came across from... I was heading east, so from the west side, I hit Ohio. It was me and about 6 other trucks, and I was playing the caboose because I couldn't go any faster than 72 miles an hour.
Of
So
course.
yeah, we were breaking the law.
Okay. So, Ding, will continue story time.
Oh, okay.
Do you know why that was a problem?
What?
The split speed limit.
Why?
It caused more accidents.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't have semis going this speed and cars zipping by and in and out of semis without causing accidents.
Exactly.
Plus, you've got...
There are still some states that
yes,
do it.
But they have more accidents. And
Yeah.
when you have trucks that are governed, say East Coast trucks that are governed at 66 or 67 miles an hour,
And
they get out here,
Yeah.
say they get to Texas where it's 80 miles an hour.
Yeah. Or 85 in Montana.
Yeah.
You know.
It might be more than 80 now in Texas. I haven't driven a semi there in a while, but still.
But yeah, you get in some of these states where it's 75,
Then they're-
80, 85 miles
then
an
they're
hour on the
inhibiting
highway.
traffic. Yeah,
Exactly.
they're blocking traffic.
It's like move it or lose it.
Yeah, you get screamed
Idiot,
at on the
move it out,
on the
bro.
radio
Huh?
for any of them that actually still use a CB.
Yeah, right. Well, that's episode...
There's a reason. There's why they don't
Episode
have
70.
CBs now.
Because they don't want to hear you
They don't want to hear you yell at them for not going the speed limit. I finally figured it out.
Episode 70, the CB or not the CB.
That's right. That is the question.
Anywho.
Yeah, see, I finally figured it out.
Yeah, so this is a nice, short, sweet episode for you.
Hope you liked it. Hope
So-
you'll give us your opinion. Tell us what you're driving, why you're driving it. Was it company mandate or you chose it yourself? My dad taught me what to like when it comes to semis, even though we had different opinions on what it was packaged in. When it came to drivetrain, we were spot on.
Anyways, ask the show, 18wheeltalk.com, or you can email us directly at thehosts@18wheeltalk.com and let us know.
That would be wonderful.
Yep. Anywho, the host,
with an S.
TheHosts, the hosts at 18wheeltalk.com.
.com.
That'll get to either me or Janet. One of us will see it. .com. We can do that all day, you know.
Yeah, we're just feeling silly today, so I'm sorry. I hope you're enjoying it.
Anyways, a nice short little episode for you. My preference is a Peterbilt. If I was to go buy one today, I would buy early 2000 379, and I would take the cat motor out and rebuild it so it start fresh.
I thought you were going to say you're going to take it out and replace it with
No.
something else.
Oh, no. Rebuild it. So, I mean, I don't care if it's got 200 million miles or 2 million miles on it. I will take the motor out and rebuild it.
I'm like, if it's got 200 million miles on it, man, I want to see if that sucker still runs.
I want to see if it's still got walls on the inside.
I want to start
Probably.
it just a couple times.
Turn the key.
Turn that key over, driver.
And I'm not sure if I'd prefer either a 13-speed or an 18-speed. I guess it all depends on where we're driving.
I guess it all depends if I'm driving with you, too. I could do a 13-speed, though.
Yeah. Well,
I might even eventually like an automatic, when I'm 100, 105 years old.
If we're driving on the West Coast up in the mountains, I would probably take an 18-speed. I heard you. So did everybody else. But if I'm driving in the mountains, I probably would say the 18-speed because then you got the extra
to get up the hill.
Yeah, the split gears.
I remember racing my daddy up the mountains in West Virginia with them split gears.
Yeah, who won? Your daddy did, didn't he?
Well, yeah, because we had same engine, same drivetrain, and he had just a few dozen years experience on me.
Oh, God. You got to throw that card out there? Pfft. You're such a girl.
Yeah.
You're such a girl. You let daddy win, didn't you?
No. You kidding? That truck of his was faster than...
You're like, I'm going to get you, Dad. I'm going to get... Okay, I'm not going to get you.
Bye. See you in the other side, Dad. Wait for me at the top.
I'll see you at the truck stop. Save me a seat.
Save me a cup of coffee, please. He'd laugh at me because I'd do that to him on the CV, too.
Oh, my God.
Okay, that's enough. We need to say
Anyways.
goodbye.
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at 18 Wheel Talk. Find us on social media everywhere, 18 Wheel Talk. We are on your favorite podcast player. We're out there. Just do a search for 18wheeltalk.com, or you can go to 18wheeltalk.com, and I think it's on the subscribe. It'll pull up all the podcast players that we're currently on.
And if you're on social media looking for us and you are not sure you got us, look for the logo.
Yeah, blue and green.
Blue and green and a semi.
Blue and green with a 379 Peterbilt.
Okay. Hasta la pasta.
Have a good one. Keep your rubber side down.
And your shiny side up.
And your wheels rolling. We'll see you on the next side.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.